Up nice and early again this morning to take the long walk down to the train station, to take the long train down to the airport, to take the plane over to Kathmandu. And here we are, we can see the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas protruding above the clouds. Here we are arriving in Kathmandu. We sorted out our visas, which I still owe Dad for. And then I persuaded him not to take a taxi, but to take a bus instead, which was absolutely packed and went the wrong way. So in the end, we got a taxi back into Kathmandu. And here is the skyline of the city. After all said and done, we then just chilled out with a cup of tea. So I took this video to show some of the dust on the roads. Dad bought a face mask, but I can feel it in my throat. Kathmandu was actually nicer than a lot of what we've seen in India, but we still decided to head down to Pokhora. And some of the houses on the way actually look really cool. So it seems the weather in Nepal tends to have a short rainfall in the afternoon, so we took shelter and had a cup of tea until it passed. Pokhora is definitely worth visiting. The hostels are a lot nicer and the roads are quieter. Of course, being on the lake, we decided we was going to hire some kayaks. So we went kayaking around the entire lake. And at the same time, we decided to stop off and go up towards the stupa as well. From on top of the stupa, you can get some amazing views from Pokhora and the lake, as well as on a clear day, the mountains in the background. And then walking around in the evening, we saw some interesting festivities. So now on the bus back to Kathmandu. On the way we make a couple of stops, one of them being the lunch stop, which is when Dad and I walked down to the riverside and found a beautiful little beach on the side of the river. A view back over the road have just come up. It's really interesting seeing buses overtake lorries on blind hairpin bends up here, but the system works. And then back in Tamil, which is the centre of Kathmandu, here you can buy anything you want for trekking. Today we decided to have a look at the monkey temple. We started by walking up to the stupa where you can get some great views over the city. And around the outside of everything are these prayer wheels, some are massive and colourful and some are like this. And here's a monkey trying to get into a bottle. Kind of reminds me of Talon. So I'm still trying to work out where they get the name Monkey Temple. So when they put the effort in, they can actually make things look really pretty. On the other hand, some of the traditional old buildings look really cool as well. This looks like this pirate ship just been plonked in the middle of town. And then we found the rich part of town. So just outside of Tamil, they've got all the big names and it's a whole different world. So today being Dad's last day, we did something a bit more special. We did a bungee jumping canyon swing. We got a pretty funky little bus up there, further and further and further into the mountains. And the roads turned into sort of dirt tracks hanging on the side of a cliff. Of course, we found a plunge pool, so Dad obviously went in it. And here is the canyon that we'll be jumping off. Of course, you can't take any cameras or anything with you, so I couldn't get any footage, which means I secretly filmed it off the TV afterwards. So it's pretty poor quality, but you can get the idea. This morning we went to the airport so that Dad could catch his flight home. We actually got the buses right, so it's super cheap. And then in the afternoon I met up with Manuela and we went around Tamil for a bit. I managed to avoid all the illnesses in India, but for some reason I got ill the night before my Everest trek, which means I also had to cut my dinner short with Manuela, which I felt quite bad about.